You're listening to UCW Radio. In your face.
What we got here is a failure to communicate.
Oh, have I got your attention now?
Greed, for lack of a better word, is good.
You know what I mean?
Money to be made in a place like this.
Money never sleeps, pal.
You're crazy. Don't run when you lose. Don't whine when it hurts.
You know what it takes to sell real estate? It takes brass.
I've fallen, and I can't get up.
All right, welcome to Money Never Sleeps. This is a show where we talk about anything and everything that impacts the flow of money from around the corner to around the world. And what we've been speaking about on a lot of shows that we've had is cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other cryptocurrency. Bitcoin, I've said it time and time again, it is a store of value. You know, what you have organizations that are out there that are trying to make it into an e-commerce product, but it can't. In my opinion, it can't because the fluctuation in price is too great. One of the attributes of a currency, a true currency where you're utilizing to purchase items and things like that, is stability. Okay, and not that crazy fluctuation. When you have like oil and gold and silver and you have fluctuations like that, that's a store of value. You know, that's a commodity. Okay, Bitcoin is a store of value. It's more of a commodity than it is anything else. You know, you have to look at it that way. So as an investment, I'm not giving advice here, but as an investment, long term, it could wind up being something good. You know, there's a limited supply out there that can be mined. And once they start figuring out how to do this in a green way without consuming so much, power, and then, basically impacting the environment, which is the big argument, right? Out of all these years, this is the big argument that's coming about. When they figure that out, then you're going to see Bitcoin hit its capacity at some point, and it's going to be a supply and demand issue. Okay, you don't have things being built on the backbone of Bitcoin because it's not that type of cryptocurrency. Now, Ethereum is a different story. Ethereum has the ability where you can build on its backbone. It has that characteristic. This is why they have other cryptocurrencies built on top of it. This is why they have tokens built on top of it. This is why they have NFTs that are built on top of Ethereum. And that gives, in my opinion, that gives Ethereum intrinsic value. When you have a cryptocurrency, you have a blockchain platform. Forget about cryptocurrency, a blockchain platform that allows for other digital assets to be built on top of it. Okay, it's there's value there because you're not limited. You're not limited to what can be put on there, how many things can be put on there. It's just an ever increasing scalable event that'll continue to grow as the community grows. And this is why, I happen to like Ethereum. I happen to like Pico Novus. I happen to like these platforms that are scalable, that bring more of an air of growth for the future, as opposed to someone saying, "Hey, I got a cryptocurrency and this is what it is," and they have a good story with it. If you have a platform and you can build and it's scalable, there's more value there long term. So you have to look at these things. Okay, now NFTs, this has been a big thing. Visa just did something with some pixel art, a crypto punk pixel art NFT that they purchased, I think, for 150 grand or something of that nature. NFTs are interesting because it is an immutable record of ownership for an item. And when you have digital items that are created, it's opening up a whole new spectrum of things that can be done. The physical part of things, you collect physical magazines and baseball cards and other trading cards and things of that nature. Okay. With that comes, potential loss. The reason I say this, you'll say you have a baseball card collection in your basement and you're saving it. You can have it, secured, everything else. You have a flood, all of a sudden they're all gone. Okay. Now, when you have digital assets, basically with that, it's always there. It's always there. And I think that it's going to come into its own more and more and more. And the platforms that are allowing, like Ethereum, that allow for NFTs to live on there, that is going to be the money shot. That's going to be the money shot. That's why, as I said, I like Pico Novus, because it allows that to happen and more things are going to be transpiring. One thing that I do want to say with Money Never Sleeps, that we announced that we're going to have something special on the show. Okay. And I love putting the spotlight on growth companies that are disruptive, that have a technology or a service or a product or something that's going to impact the world in its own way. I love doing this because, these are the great stories that you want to hear, and you want to hear it now as they're doing it. So we're going to have what we're calling Disruptor Central, where I'm going to bring on companies that have this disruptive technologies, products, and services, bring them on to talk for a few minutes about their company, about their product, about their service, about their technology, about what they're doing. And this is something that is going to be seen by the world. It's going to go along the Money Never Sleeps podcast, which is global. It's going to go on here. It's going to go on the show itself, where people can see the video and we can, kind of put their logo and do things like that as well. So there's a marketing part of it. And you're going to have a lot of investors and a lot of investment groups that are going to see this. We're not associated with these investment groups. We don't pitch these companies, but they will get exposure, and who knows what can happen. So I'm excited to do this. This is part of what the Money Never Sleep show is about. It's about putting the spotlight on certain industries and companies and things of that nature, and things that are happening in finance, and basically putting the spotlight on anything that impacts the flow of money from around the corner to around the world, as you hear me say at the beginning of each show. So this is what we're going to be doing. Excited about it, and I do welcome any company that feels like they fit in that realm of being a disruptive company in their industry, in technology, and anything. Reach out. We want to speak with you. Okay, now, SEC regulation, as you see on the screen. This is something that, again, I'm excited about for the cryptocurrency market. The reason being is that the one thing that's held back the growth of the cryptocurrency market is the lack of guidance, the lack of regulation, the lack of, hey, are we doing things legally, illegally? Guidelines. You have this with the cannabis market. You have guidelines of how they can do things. Okay, there has been a stigma going way back when to the beginning of the Bitcoin and beyond that, where they said that, hey, cryptocurrency is a way to evade this and for criminal activity, this and that. And that's bogus, because there's more criminal activity that happens with hard cash, where people are from dealing drugs and doing all this stuff, and doing, where you have governments dropping $1 billion on a plane on in another country just to go and pay them off for something. And it's happened. Facts. Okay. So, I think the regulation from the SEC, from Gensler, is going to put everything in the right light so that there can be true growth in the industry. Again, the great part about the right cryptocurrencies, it's immutable, it's clarity, and you can feel safe about the transactions you do if done the right way. You have platforms that are going and like Coinbase and things like that allow you to trade, and that's great. Is giving people the liquidity Okay, but there's going to be a lot more going on because cryptocurrency is not about just about trading. Just like stocks aren't just about trading. It's about these companies growing and building, creating jobs and things of that nature. And this is what we're kind of entering into. So it's going to be interesting. I look forward to seeing what the regulation will look like. Want to touch on something in the crypto space that I thought was interesting. Okay, UFC they made a deal with this coin called Chiliz coin, and basically they have their own ecosystem, their own platform, and they started issuing these tokens, these UFC fan tokens. Okay, that are built on their backbone, and it's interesting because they're doing that, and how UFC is going to use it. I didn't really dive deep into it, but I'm assuming it's going to be fan appreciation. They'll utilize it as they can use it towards the purchase of this, that, or the other thing. So I think it's going to be an interesting evolution as things move on. There is another organization that came out with MMA tokens. I see a lot of these things happening, and again, how these things are working, I'm not 100% sure. But you just have to be careful if you're investing in this space, because if these companies, if these groups are issuing ICOs and they're taking money and going and issuing, these tokens, okay, you have to be aware of what's in front of you, okay, because you have laws that are in place. And with ICOs, you had the wild west for a while, but there are certain things that are in place now that even the SEC is saying, hey, you're doing an ICO, that's like doing an IPO, and you have to adhere to certain regulations. So just be aware of what you're getting involved with. I'm always skeptical with the ICO market because of that. You have this other coin called Crypto Fights, and that's interesting because I believe that has to do with video gaming and things of that nature. And again, anything that's in that realm of utilizing cryptocurrency in a video game capacity could be interesting, because you're using a digital asset within the ecosystem. Now, how that works, again, not 100% sure. You can do your research on it. But I always look at these new products that are coming out, and some are interesting, some can be disruptive, some to me seem like they're bogus. You just have to keep an eye out if you're looking at this space. I would always look at the utility of a crypto. You have to. If there's no utility, then it's useless. It has to do something. If you have a crypto that is for an ecosystem, there's a use case there. Okay, does it mean that it's going to accrue in value over time? No, it may be a stable type of coin that's just for the ecosystem, and that's fine. You have other coins that, like Ethereum. I keep going back to that because that's the main example I can put out there, where you have other cryptos and NFTs, these non-fungible tokens that are built on that backbone. And that's the money. Again, that's the money shot. Groups that do that, platforms that do that allow that, these are the ones you really, really, really want to look towards for the future. Okay. And again, in closing for the show, I want to, again, the startup companies that are out there, that you have, disruptive technology, services, products, just things that are going to go and impact our world. As little, as small as it may be, it can be different. It can be disrupting an industry, disrupting how we live. Basically, when you have companies that are disruptive, they're shaking up the foundation of what we know to be normal and changing it to something better. We've seen it throughout history. Okay, Ford has done it time and time again. You've seen other companies that have done it, from Harley Davidson, to Caterpillar, to other companies throughout history that have done it. and Boeing and all these companies, Hershey's, disruptive in their arena. So we want to bring on these companies before they blow up and really introduce them and put the spotlight on them for a show and and give you guys something special on Money Never Sleeps. And that's about it for this edition of Money Never Sleeps Radio. I appreciate you viewing this and taking time out of your busy schedule to even hear my voice or even see this video. And I appreciate that. And we're going to be back with you with some more, again, disruptive companies. I want to bring them on. Disrupt the Central. Okay. And, just different input from different arenas, for whether it be stocks, cryptocurrencies, and I haven't even gone into what's going on in Afghanistan. And I have a lot of input that I want to bring on the next show, which I'm going to do to give my view, my opinion on that. Anyway, I want to thank you for tuning in, and make sure to check out Money Never Sleeps and see what we're doing. Again, startup companies, feel free to reach out to us. We want to hear from you. Thank you, and you guys have a fantastic trading day.
Initiating shutdown sequence.
You're listening to UCW Radio. In your face.
What is your major malfunction?
So let it be written. So let it be done.
Ladies and gentlemen, my mother thanks you, my father thanks you, my sister thanks you, and I thank you.
All opinions expressed by Luis Velazquez on the Money Never Sleeps radio show and its website are solely his opinions and do not reflect the opinions of the UCW radio show or their parent company or affiliates, and may have been previously disseminated by him on television, radio, internet, or another medium. You should not treat any opinion expressed by him as a specific inducement to make a particular investment or follow a particular strategy, but only as an expression of his opinion. His opinions are based upon information he considers to be reliable, but neither the UCW radio show nor its affiliates, parent companies, and or subsidiaries warrant its completeness or accuracy, and it should not be relied upon as such. The UCW radio show, Luis Velazquez, its affiliates, parent companies, and or subsidiaries are not under any obligation to update or correct any information provided on the radio show or on the website. His statements and opinions are subject to change without notice. No part of his compensation from the UCW radio show is related to the specific opinions he expresses. Please read the full disclaimer on MoneyNeverSleepsRadio.com.